gonna do a lot of, yeah. Okay, how is everybody feeling, man? You guys feel good about this class?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Nick, we missed you, man. You didn't come for the presentation yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some issues with my laptop. Actually, I was fixing it today.
Oh, Pole.
Yeah.
So it's fixed now?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
So, how far did you guys go on reading the AWS things? I'm gonna start sharing my screen if you don't mind. Okay, so we get started on AWS. So when we talk of AWS, we talk of so many things, but there are three main pillars of AWS. And the three pillars of AWS will be, first and foremost, will be I, A, again, and then S, that S, okay? That's the infrastructure. AAS, so infrastructure is the I, AAS. So when we talk of AWS, we talk of three things, but we begin with the first one. And that first one will be the infrastructure. Now the infrastructure is how we connect to the AWS. Now, when I talk of AWS, it's very specific to AWS, but I want you to understand that it's actually, we are talking about the cloud. And somebody might be wondering, why do we have to talk about the cloud? Now, you as a data scientist, you need to understand the architecture, the connectivity, and you also need to understand, okay, the security aspect of both connectivity and the architecture and the storage which comes with it. Okay, so AWS IaaS stands for Infrastructure as a Service. So let me go back here and then share that screen whereby I have the infrastructure as a service. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Okay. All right. Can you see now? So these are the three pillars. Okay. We have the A, the I, the infrastructure as a service. The infrastructure as a service consists of applications, the data, the runtime, the middleware, the operating system. Okay. All those, they are going to be managed by you in the IaaS, okay? And then we have the visualization, the servers, the storage, and the networking. And these are being managed by the vendor. So AWS as Amazon will be managing the red ones. The Azure is also another flavor of cloud service. And we also have, of course, Google Cloud. But this blue here will be managed by you as the customer. That's under infrastructure as a service. Okay. And then we have another pillar of the cloud. And when we talk about the cloud, it's in the grand scale of things, but we are trying to focus specific to AWS. Why AWS and why not the other ones? Now, the reason why I'm concentrating on AWS is because it's the first one to be in the market. That was, I believe, 2006, it came up, and then Azure and Google followed way after. Okay, 2006, this one came into the market. So it's more in demand and it's more stable. I'm not saying the other ones are not stable. The other ones are also available and they're coming up. But this one has more services and it has more grounding. Even the other ones, but this one is the pioneer, okay? And then now we have the PaaS. As part of the cloud, P stands for platform, and that's platform as a service. Now in the platform as a service, we have applications and then we have the data, and that's going to be managed by you. You're going to be the person managing those first two. And then you let the red ones, the runtime, middleware, the operating system, the visualization, the server, the storage, the networking to be done by the vendor. The vendor being, in this case, the AWS guy, or people will be managing those. Now, if you go to the third tier, which is the software as a service, everything will be managed by the vendor. Okay? All you have to do is just put your stuff out there, they take care of the rest for you. Okay? Now, so far we're good, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you have any question, you ask. No, don't hesitate. So that's AWS. Now, why do we even care? Why do we care about AWS? Now, the services provided by AWS are numerous in number. So some of the things we have will be, they provide us the operating system, okay? Mostly the Linux and also the Windows operating system. They provide those, and then they give us a lot of space, computer space, okay? And then in addition to that, they also give us, services like the storage, okay? They also give us services, storage as in the hard drive space. They give us a lot of memory storage. They also give us a lot of power in the processor. That's why AWS and the other the other cloud services have really gained ground. One advantage again is how dynamic they are. Dynamic in the sense that you can be a very small company and then you realize a large growth overnight. Okay, could be overnight, maybe let's say due to COVID, and all of a sudden now you had a Zoom, you are the Zoom company. And now you are hosting like maybe about 100 people. The business was okay, but not really like so good. And then overnight, COVID hit. Now, when COVID hit, Amazon, if you are hosting Amazon, Amazon will automatically expand your capability. So we call it the elasticity. It's able to expand and shrink as demand grows or shrinks. So if you are only using, say, 2 processors or just 1 processor, the demand will be able to tell Amazon software to expand it for you. So you might be using 4 different processors, and then you can keep it in different zones. So you have a backup, and you also have what we call redundancy. So if one zone goes down for some reason, another zone will be able to pick up. Okay, that's an advantage, which is opposed to what we used to have before. If you're hosting, let's say in Nairobi, and the power goes down in Nairobi, and your website is a busy website which people buy items from, then you'll go down. You don't want that to happen. Okay, so Amazon and other web services came to the rescue. Okay, and then we have memory. You can just be saying, I just need 128 megabytes. And then suddenly you realize you need more because your applications are growing in terms of size. So you're gonna go the bigger way. So Amazon has a way of expanding that elastically for you. The hard drive, you have a lot of hard drive or storage types in Amazon. And those storage types, one of them, very popular one, we call it S3, okay? And S3 is a storage device whereby you are able to you are able to actually use additional Amazon services to store your additional data sets. Okay, so S3 stands for storage. Okay, S for storage. So there's Amazon Simple Storage Service. So the Simple Storage Service, hence the S3. Okay, and then we of course have other storage services. Some of them allow you to actually even carry your service or your data sets or even your services off to the premise, and you can back it up and then take it back again. So we'll be able to learn those as we go by. So the processor can probably be just, let's say, you're just running a very simple processing power, maybe 500 clock speed, just an example. Now, if it's, let's say, i5, you probably automatically you can increase it, and then it can go to i7, and then it can give you a lot of more power in terms of the processing, and then it can be like different processor working at the same time, making things happen for you. So those are some of the benefits of Amazon. So it comes in actually computing, it's cloud computing. So they come in infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. And then when you talk of platform here, this one is more or less like we're talking of more or less of the operating system, and we're talking more or less on the kind of software you have, which comes with it. Now, when we talk of the infrastructure, we talk of like the co-location where the servers are hosted, okay? And we also talk of the connectivity issue or the connectivity options we have. So those are three main ones, okay? And now, you say, of course, we talked about how they separate the responsibility, so we don't need to go in there. Now, we also talked about the storage services at Amazon. The main one normally is Amazon Simple Storage Service. Okay. Now, that's a bucket. And then you have so many other options, which I believe you probably went through in the book. So let me go ahead and bring that book up, and then we go through some few stuff real quick so you can get to see what I'm talking about here. Bear with me 1 second, let me bring it up. Okay, coming up. I sent you quite a number of stuff in the course of the week. I don't know if you guys had a chance to go through those, but we are going to brush them. We're going to brush over them pretty quick so you can understand some of the concept. A lot of this is going to be on statistics. So let me go back and open Amazon Cloud Practitioner. Okay. Cloud Practitioner. All right, you got it here. Okay, I'm going to share the screen here. So this book, this is for the foundation. If you're getting started with Amazon, this is the book to go for. It will basically break it down for you so you can know what Amazon entails. Of course, it's the cloud. The cloud takes you through the cloud. You have to understand your Amazon account, the details, how they bill it, and you also have to understand what comes in that account, the memory, the processor speed, the operating system. Okay, all those will be falling under those three categories. The infrastructure as a service, it can fall on the PaaS, also fall on the software as a service. Okay, so we also here up to chapter 8. Now you get support. How do you get support from Amazon? It tells you. Some of this might be old though, but it will be able, you should be able to understand how you go about those. And then you also need to understand the Amazon environment. Now you can create a free account. You just pay one. Basically, you don't even pay $1. But when you go into Amazon, like here, I'm able to go into Amazon console. Console. Log into the console. So my console, I've been having it for almost 1 year for free. So I can sign back in. Okay, I can sign here back here. Let me see. HSYGH2. I don't remember my password. Let me see here. Okay, I don't remember that password. Why? Let's see here. Bear with me 1 second. Is that NY736? All right, looks good now. Okay, now this is the instance. This is my Amazon control panel. I hope I'm sharing the screen. This is my Amazon control panel right here. So this EC2, that's the Elastic Computing Cloud. Okay, so when you have an instance, you can run one instance, which will be able to help you control your account, and it's for free. So you can go in, you put your credit card, they hold $1 on that credit card, just for authenticity. So they can authenticate you. And when they do authenticate you, they allow you to use their services for free, but only certain items. Okay, how beautiful is that? So if you had a book like the one we have here, you can follow through with whatever you have, how you understand the environment. Okay, how you secure your AWS resources. And then also how you work with your AWS resources and the core computing services, which we just talked about, and then also the core storage. Okay, so those can be done. Okay, now this book, you go all the way from chapter 1 to chapter 8. You don't have to read like verbatim everything. Normally what I do, I read the introduction part, and then I skim through, and then I jump, maybe I look at some of the images they have, and then immediately I go straight to the part whereby I'll be able to get the questions and then I answer them. And then with a question, I can go back and look, say, for example, the infrastructure as a service. I need to understand that better, then I can read it. So you use the book as a reference. Elastic Computing or Elastic Cloud Computing, this EC2. Okay, so you can go back and forth and you read through this one. Okay, now how is this very useful to our way of doing things in the machine learning? Okay. Now, when you come to machine learning, we now talk of so many other things, including but not limited to what will be able to put us at the top of the game. Okay, so if you look at my screen, now let me go ahead and share this with you. Okay, here. Data science. Data science will consist of the computer, you and your computer expertise. You fit in here, okay? And then your basic math skill and statistics will fit in here, okay? And then your domain and business knowledge will fit in here. So remember, with your domain and business knowledge, you'll be able to also have some software development aspect of it, which we did in the introductory part. When you came in, we learned introduction to Python. And then we gained some knowledge. Now we know something, we call it our business and domain knowledge. That one, it come and intersect here in the software development aspect of things. And then we have the traditional research, which is just traditional research. Your typical English and knowledge, how you can write your reports. So traditional research here will probably fall in the realm of what do you know and how do you research for it to gain more. And now computer science here, combined with math, brings us to what we call machine learning, okay? Now machine learning, we combine with software development, and then we combine with traditional research, will give us the data science. See how that gets married together. So we have the computer science guy, that's your area, okay? You come in, learn Python, now you have software development aspect of it, okay? Then you are now going to learn the business aspect of that, and you have to be very specific in what domain, okay? And then with your basic math and statistics, you combine that with your business knowledge, you are able to do traditional research, okay? With your math and statistics, you combine that with your computer science knowledge, you are able to come up with machine learning. Combination of your traditional research, software development, and machine learning will give you the advantage of doing the data science aspect of it. Okay, so that's one area. Now, remember, data science has been in existence for a long time, but it's coming into prominence lately due to a lot of aspects. One of them due to the internet and the Internet of Things. Okay, we have the Internet of Things whereby things interact. It can be your wireless router in your computer room, for example, interact with your phone. You have a TV which interacts with your wireless, your smart TV. Okay, so your smartphone and your smart TV, they talk to your wireless, and you can communicate to your TV directly from your phone. And your computer or your laptop also talk to your wireless. Okay, and you could be having a GPS, global positioning system, like in your car. So your car might be connected to your wireless, and you can stream music and movies while you drive. And all this generate a lot of data and data sets. That data is useless. Now, what is data? Data is just facts and figures. The facts could be facts. Sometimes they might not be facts which are useful to us. The figures could just be figures, but is it of any use to us? So unless we process this data and we make that data useful, that data is not going to be good. So processed data, we call it information. And that information is what we use, for example, in here to do our research and to make us be able to be predictive and being analytic. It could be in finance, it could be in healthcare, it could be in HR, it could be in any other field, science and technology. You know? But remember, statistics will always depend on your research on data. When we bring that data, we use computer science to clean the data, we make it meaningful, we process it, and then we are able to display it in visualization. Use it for decision making. Maybe we use it in a proposal to get some money for funding, maybe to help us in our, say, for example, in healthcare research. So data science is the new normal, okay? So they say data science is no doubt the sexiest career path in the 21st century. It's made up of people with strong intellectual curiosity and technical expertise to dig out valuable insights from humongous volumes of data. Humongous volumes of data is what we call data sets. This helps big companies add value by improving their productivity, unlocking insights for better decision making and profit gains. And these are just to mention a few. Okay. Now the knowledge of your data science is going to be very desirable, you know, and useful across various industries. Okay, like I said, it could be in finance, in banking, fintech, could be in healthcare, it could be in so many other things. And we're just starting the journey. Okay, so that brings us to how we connect AWS, and now we got into data science. Now, Internet of Things generate a lot of data. This data is nothing until we bring it into the realm of data science. Data science comes from computer science and IT technology or knowledge. And then we combine that with mathematics and statistics and with the domain business knowledge to help us come up with research and development, software, and also machine learning to be able to come up with data science, which will be able to help us make what we need to make to come up with the right decision making. Okay. I'm going to stop for 1-2 seconds, so maybe a minute, just to give you time to absorb that. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, now, like right here, when we talk of the pillars, okay, we talked of the pillars of AWS. We break down this according to the responsibilities across board. So we have on-premise. Now, if you have an office, say you're in Nairobi, and your company hosts your local website or intranet in the building, we call that on-premise deployment. It could be running application code for like accounting, HR, you know, for shipping, inventory, and ticketing system. Okay. It could also have some database, and we have security built in there. We have it running OS, it could be Linux or Windows. We have it whereby we can visualize, and we have it networked, we have it storage, and we have a hardware, which is a server. These are all our responsibilities. If it's on premise, this is us. This is going to be ours. But if we take it to AWS and we only go for the IaaS, then the first four, application code, security, database, and OS, will be our responsibility. And we leave the other responsibility, which will be including visualization, networking, storage hardware, and server. Okay. And then we have PASS, which is application code. Okay. Now, PAS application code is going to be your responsibility as a client to Amazon. But Amazon will take care of security, database, OS, visualization, networking, storage, and hardware. Okay. And then we also have, if you go for the software as a service, we have application code, security, database, operating system, visualization, networking, storage hardware, and the server will be all the responsibility of Amazon. So Amazon will be able to give you the infrastructure, they give you the support, they give you the expertise, they help you until you're on your own, but you have to pay for it. And that takes us to what we call the tier, the type of services they have. So you probably, during your reading, you probably went through what we call like the type of businesses, which I don't know if that's a business, but let me see. Let's go back here. The type of services you can get from Amazon, whether it's a business or whether it's going to be a local. So for example, this is the environment. Okay. You can go the business way. If you go the business way, you need to know what kind of service you'll be able to get. So let's see here. Okay, so we have like, these are the plans, Amazon. And I highly encourage you to get time and visit the Amazon. Some of these things might be changing, but there's a developer account, okay? Me and you, we just go the free account, but they actually have a developer account whereby you can pay more than $29 a month, 3% of monthly account usage, okay? That's how they categorize. So if you're a developer, you want to go beyond the free tier, you can go the direction of developer. If you're a business person, that means it's a small business, at least you're gonna pay greater than $100. Your usage will probably be 10% up to $10,000. 7% of usage up to $80,000. 5% of usage up to 250. So that means this is a very serious business. We could be talking of maybe Facebook here starting, or we could be talking some kind of banks, different bank institutions. They can pay this money without even feeling it, because they're going to transfer it to the customer anyway through some kind of service fee. And then you talk of the enterprise. These are large companies, could be Facebook too, could be other banks falling under this, could be hospitals. They fall under that category. So you read those, these are different support plans. For example, here, you most likely be needing help. Amazon will be needing to give you help from the business to the enterprise. And that could be changing as you go along with it. You look at the tier checks, the developer. You have the basic. So this, you also want to check them on a different level on the Amazon website, because they are more updated there than this book, which probably maybe could be a few years old. Okay. So this thing is self-explanatory. Amazon is easy, you can read and understand it. And if you decide you want to go sit for this exam, here in the US, this exam will probably be about $100. Comes with how many questions? Let me see. Oh, 1 second. I really encourage, if you want to go that direction, it gives you more for your buck. So AWS Foundation exam. Okay. All right, that guy is not giving us what we want. AWS Foundation exam. Okay, there's so many things you can also add, like it's about $100 for Amazon. And then associate level, if you pass the Amazon foundation level, then you go do associate level, which is $150. If you pass that, then you can go the professional level and specialty level, which is about $300. Now, let me tell you the prospects of this. There are so many people who are employed who are needing help. You could be in Kenya and you could be busy as hell and making money like crazy. Because there are people who are hired, they got very lucky, they got hired, but they don't know everything. So if you put your name out there online somewhere, they'll be coming to you to help them, and they pay you per hour. You could be starting at the associate level or professional level, and you could be taking the additional work for them. All they have to do, they get paid highly, but they turn around and then pay you. I don't know if it's making any sense.
A question we got, how does that happen?
Okay. So let's say you're in Canada, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow you get a job, you like your job and you got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're paying you very highly. And there are
Yes.
certain things which you probably feel a little bit green on.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to brush on them, but there's somebody who is willing to help you with your work. So you pass your work over to them, they help you, and then you submit to your job and makes you look good.
Mm-hmm.
So you agree with this person, and most of them, they tend to be Indians. So you agree with this person, then you pay them, and then you do your part, and where you need help with, they come and help you, and they also train you. They build you up. So you pay them, you could be paying them, let's say every 1 hour per week, $100. I mean, that's what you might be paying them. It really depends on what you agree. And they might be getting several of you in a week, probably 10 people different times. And if that was, let's say Nick is doing it. Nick is in Kenya. There are 10 different people coming to Nick every week, and each one is paying Nick $100, and Nick is worth $1,000 per week. And some of them, you sign a contract, you could be going for like several months until they really feel okay. Does it make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you can do that. And that's just on Amazon level. There are people, if you go to Upwork, you can sign up and then you offer your expertise. People come to you, they say, hey, I have some, let's say some Python thing I need help with. You know, you give them your price, you bid, and then if you win, they give you the job, you do it, and then they pay you. You just have to deliver, okay? So when they pay you through Upwork, and then Upwork, it goes through the Upwork escrow account, and then Upwork pays you. So you'll be in Nairobi and you can never complain there are no jobs. You just have to be honest and faithful to the job so that you can keep more customers coming your way. I see our people sometimes, they tend not to be very truthful. You pay them and then the next time they don't want to do it again. So it's honesty is the best policy. So that's how you can do the Amazon thing. So here is the foundation level. How many questions the foundation levels? So let's see. Okay. I hope I'm making any sense. I hope I am. Nobody's sleeping out there, right?
Yes, you are.
Questions. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so if you do AWS foundation level questions, AWS exam questions. How many questions? How many questions? How many questions are in foundation? Okay, so how many questions are the exam? So here, how many questions are AWS exam? So AWS Certified Solution Architecture, this one, that's the second tier, which is here. I'm sorry, let me go back here. I don't know where it is. Okay, which is here. That is 65 questions. The pass mark is about 70%. Don't underestimate it. If you want to prepare for that exam, it's $150. Depending where you are, it might be cheaper in Kenya, maybe cheaper in Canada. But over here in the US, that's the price. It's about 65 multiple choice questions. The test is both proctored and timed. That means somebody's going to be watching you so that you don't mess. Individual will have 130 minutes, which is 2 hours, 10 minutes to answer those 65 questions. I tell you, this is worth it. Whether you pass it or not, at least you tried it. It's worth it. Okay? And then I'm going to say probably the foundation level is also around 60 questions. But you can do research on your own and find out. Okay?
You're now tempting me.
Huh?
You're now tempting me.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to try. If you fail, it's okay. Go try again. It's okay, but you just have to make sure that you prepare the best you can. So you go give it one try and you scoop it. And then you put it on your resume, you put your resume out there on your LinkedIn. You know, literally you'll be getting offers every day to go do an interview. I get every day until I stop it. I get a lot of people, hey, I see your profile, you know, hey, we were wondering if you can interview for this position. That's an invite. It does not mean it's a job, so you have to be prepared for it. Okay, so Amazon is a big thing, and that's why I incorporate it in this class, if that means anything. Okay, so we go back. Okay, I would suggest, for example, if you read a chapter 2, if you're lucky to, when you're in that chapter, go look at the summary. Look at the introductory part, look at the summary, read the summary. If you look and see that there's a diagram, study that diagram, understand it, okay? They're talking about so many things like the databases and all that. And then do the end of chapter questions and answer them. Once you do that, then you do the summary, go to the next chapter. Don't rush, take your time. If it's a book of, let's say, about 10 chapters, I would probably give it about maybe 20 days. So every 2 days, you finish a chapter. Slowly but surely, every 2 days, finish a chapter. And then you go online, you go to websites like this, people have a lot of tips for you. People are willing to help. Okay? Put that extra feather on your hat. So by the time you finish your advanced Python, you'll be having something like this. And then you can, there are jobs out there, by the way. You don't have to like go to an 8 to 5 job. You can just be doing a job in your pajamas, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So long as you have internet and you get paid and you drive a nice car. It could be in the middle of the jungle somewhere, you know. I mean, there's things happen around, especially if you have the internet, and then there's cell phone. They call you, you can receive the call, you talk to them, and then you, once you agree to the contract, you take it, finish it. Okay, once you finish it, charge it. They pay you. Imagine so many people will be coming back and giving you reviews, very good reviews. Like, hey, I gave this so-and-so my project, he did it very well, and I'm very happy, you know. I would really recommend this guy for anybody else who wants it. And then now all of a sudden they start coming your way. By the way, by the time you start doing a lot of that, you're also improving yourself. You're developing more and more of something which you did not even know you could be doing. You go Google and then you work things out. Before you realize it, you'll be getting over even 100,000 in a month. You might get burned down, but be careful. So sometimes you want to spread it out, get a group of people you can work with. Maybe you're so good in Python, somebody might be good in AWS. So you form a company. You know, the problem with us people, we want to eat it all by ourselves. So where I come from, we say too much of something is too dangerous. So you just want to split it up so you share your love with other people too. I'm giving you Career 101. Okay. Any question before we proceed? All right. So go ahead.
Assume now you are like me. Where would you begin? Go
What do
ahead,
you mean?
read.
What do you mean, like you, Nancy? You gotta tell me who are you? Who are you, Nancy? Tell me.
I'm Nancy, and I'm interested in AWS.
Okay.
I would like to begin from the foundation.
Okay.
And do that exam.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Nancy and I'm interested in doing this exam, you have the book already, Nancy. Remember I sent you the book 6 months ago. Okay. So you have to divide the book into categories. This is what I'll do. I come back here, I look at the book, and then I give myself 10 days. At least 10 days I'll be able to cover. You make sure you read the book step by step, since you really want to learn it, right? So don't skip the way I will say you skip. You read chapter 1, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Read the summary, answer the questions. When you answer the question, don't look at the answers. Answer to the best of your ability based on what you read. And then, if you missed anything, go revise it. And then always, I always write down notes. You always want to write down notes. It sticks better for me. And then you do chapter 2. You do the same chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain things you'll have to forgo. For example, I want to do this in 10 days. So sometimes chapter 1 might not even take you a day. It might take you less than a day. So chapter 1 and chapter 2, you might just finish within a day or two. And then you go chapter 3 all the way, but each and every chapter, you give them equal opportunity of understanding. The good thing, the pass mark is not so high. 65 questions, they give you 130 minutes, and then at least they need a 70%. So $100, you do the right thing, you'll most likely go pass it. And then when you pass it, there's that element of the psychology. Now I'm good. So you come back with veggies. You just want to do it. And then long behold, you do the second part, which is $950, maybe another 70 or maybe 60 questions or 65. And then you go do and then pass it. And then now I will give you an opportunity to put those on your resume. But don't stop there, because there's more to it. When you put that on your resume, people will start contacting you. You don't have to be employed by Amazon to make money. People will contact you. Those people who contact you might be too busy to do certain things, which you can easily do. They pay you for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do it. Just make sure, maybe in a nutshell, what I mean, you have to be disciplined. You have to make sure you're disciplined. If you're disciplined, you can do it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Any other question? Anybody else? Okay. So we are going to go ahead and go straight into Python administration. No. Let's go into Linux first. Yeah, how many people here are familiar with Linux? No.
I use Ubuntu.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I use Ubuntu.
Use Ubuntu.
Most of-
Okay. I remember
Yeah.
one time me and you were, did you fix the problem? Did you do the virtualization on the Ubuntu?
Yeah.
So it's working
Yeah,
better
actually-
than what you used to have before, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So virtualization, you can install VirtualBox. That means it's not going to affect your Windows. If you have at least 8 gig of hard drive, 8 gig of memory, at least i5 on Intel, and then bigger hard drive, at least 500 gig of hard drive. You can do dual, not necessarily dual boot, but you can do Ubuntu and Windows. So Ubuntu you can put on on what I call virtual environment. So the virtual environment is almost like you can work on that virtual environment pretty much every time without even worrying about being attacked by a virus. It's very, very safe environment to work in. You know, you can mess up anything you want in there. You can create your own scripts and run them in there. And I encourage you to do that. You cannot be an expert if you don't want to be dirty. You have to make yourself dirty to be able to do what it takes to be where you need it to be. So when I talk of Linux, okay, we have so many things, but this is one thing which I found out online, which basically marry the Linux and the AWS together. How you use the Linux on AWS free tier. Okay, the free tier, you can have a debit card. If you're in Kenya, just have a debit card from a bank like Commercial Bank with a Visa logo, and then you can go online, put that number, and Amazon will be able to give you that free account. They will not charge you, but they'll hold that $1 just for authentication. And then you can go ahead and get started with your Amazon. Don't read the book without necessarily going online and practicing. Don't do that. You're going to be messing yourself up. You're going to waste a lot of time. Do by doing it. Okay? So in this context here, we have why you use Amazon for Linux Foundation training. Okay? How you obtain an AWS free tier account, launching an instance, connecting to an instance and starting or stopping or terminating. What if you exceed the free limit? They'll charge you. Don't do that. They might be very expensive. And then how do you prepare for Linux Foundation course? So Nancy, this is what you need. And everybody. I don't know if I'd already shared this with you, but if you want, I can go ahead and share that with you so you can have it.
Okay.
Okay. This will be a good thing to do and also to have. When right now, if you have an AWS on your resume, your resume come out in the search. And if you know what you're talking about and you talk to those people, like they say in Swahili, bonga fresh, then you get an offer. When you get that first job, you know you're now into this thing. Don't just sit there and complain there are no jobs. Right now, they're hiring everywhere. People are getting jobs even remote. Some of them, they live in Kenya, they're getting jobs from here. Okay, let me go ahead and send this through to you. I try to encourage everybody, if you know what I mean. Okay. This might not be immediate, but I'll definitely write it down so I can send it to you. AWS, I have introduction to AWS. There's so many notes here. You just have to create time and learn. I don't know if you can see my wall. There's a picture of goals. It's telling what life without goals. You have to set some goals. So our goal, if you want to go the direction of getting a certification, set a goal. Okay, so let me go
That's
back
true.
and this one. I'm gonna reuse that and send it to everybody in that class. And that everybody in the class will only be, let's see here. Okay. Esther, you're not sleeping, are you?
No, I'm awake.
Okay. All right. So, Nicholas. Yeah. Timothy, Nicholas, and John. You guys are very lucky to be in my class, man. That's all I can say. Yeah.
This time you have more gents.
Yeah, I tried quite a few ladies, but a lot of excuses. Some of them are busy, some of them are sick. I always try to balance, if I could.
Okay.
So let me know if you receive it. Okay, and then let me send the last one, and then we proceed here. Nancy, set a goal and go do it. It's $100.
Actually, I'm thinking of it, me God. Mhm.
Mhm. Okay,
Where is the exam done? Is it online?
you have to look that online. I'm not sure. You see, you're in Canada, so I can tell you something, but I might not be sure about your place.
Okay.
But if you go online, you can ask. Amazon will give you the list of centers based on your zip code.
I received. Yeah.
You received it?
Yeah.
Got it? Okay. Okay, so introduction to Linux. This one I shared with the previous class. This one I don't even have to send it to you. What I'll do, I just go into inbox each and every one of you. Please read this, go through this. This is something is very important from overview all the way. Even if you know it, just repeat it to conclusion. It's going to give you a very good way of start looking at stuff like what we're looking at here. So it's a good thing to do. So you should be receiving in your WhatsApp my stuff here. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go ahead and do John. John, when are you starting the work? John.
I started last week, but last week was just setting of accounts. It will officially start today because we already on Monday. Yeah, it will officially start today.
Huh? So you
I'm
work
saying,
from home?
yeah, it's remote.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. So you like the pay? Hey, I'm gonna tell Jackie that you got a job, so Jackie can celebrate that.
Yeah, I like it. It's not a bad one.
Yeah, that's good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So how comfortable are you with Linux?
Out of 10, I can let myself 8.
That's nice.
But
That's nice. So that means a lot. Okay. Don't avoid Linux. Linux is the core.
Sure.
So I've already sent that to everybody, I think. Nicholas, Timothy, Esther, Nancy, and Annabelle. Annabelle is also in our class, but she works on Sundays, so she's following. I think she'll be joining us pretty soon again. Okay, so let me go back here and then see if we have something else. This one. This is something I need to share with you. Linux Foundation. Introduction, that's gonna be last. Don't sleep, please, don't sleep. Link. Linux. Okay, let's see. Almost there, so bear with me. We normally go very slow in this class. Slow but sure.
Important.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, team. John. All right, so you should be able to receive that too. All right, then now when you go into the Linux and then you start doing the commands, this one will basically help you. You can take about 51 minutes to go through these processes. It will tell you about the brief history of the lesson. Okay, how you can create accounts, how you can get access to the command line, how you can use the Linux commands. Okay, open the terminal. See here, I have my Linux, so I can go into, let's say, my virtual box here. Load my virtual box and then I can log to it. So here, I'm on my virtual box for Ubuntu. And then I can start it. While that's starting, meanwhile, we go here, you can go to the command line, you go PWD. That normally tells you where am I at. And then it's going to tell you what directory you're in. Please, please, everybody here should be able to have Ubuntu installed. Do this so you can at least know what CD is. CD is change directory. PWD is you ask the system, where am I at? You know, you can install, you can only install most of the time if you're a pseudo user, super user. Okay. Then you can go into, of course, that's open the terminal. You can go into different directories. Okay, you can go to your home and then desktop. If you did your installation in the virtual environment, don't be afraid to mess it up. It's not going to mess your Windows in any way. It's a containerized environment. Okay. You can create folders. Of course, make directories mkdir. That's how to make directories. So if we did that, mine is starting. So we did that to come back here. We're creating folders, mk directory, go to temp folder, and then you can create tutorial. And then you cd into the tutorial. CD, you go into CD, change directory into the temp, and then into the tutorial folder. And then you can make several directories, directory 1, directory 2, directory 3. And then you can go into change directory into the desktop again. Okay, and then ls means you're doing a listing of items in that particular directory. What is equivalent of dir in DOS? Okay, so if you do that, then this is what we come up with. You'll be able to list everything. Okay, you can, again, ls shows you what you have. So I don't need, some of this I don't need to explain because they're very self-explanatory, but I just point them at you. Okay, if you look at the syllabus will be able to help you understand and also guide. Okay, so spend time, 51 minutes of your life on this one. This is going to tell you how you can do the cut. You can read the contents of a file. You know, something which you don't really get so easily out there. And then, of course, I know I shared more than this one in the introductory class. So go into this one, and then this one, cut, will also just cut any particular file starting with whatever that is, and then go through that, and then it will display the contents for you. The less command, what is that? Then you can echo your stuff. Okay. And then you go to the next one. So this, each time is going to be following this one. By the time you reach the bottom, if you're not sure, go back again and start. When you finish this one, then you can come and look at some of the things I sent you earlier. Because when we go into Linux administration, into Python administration, this one will be a little bit more complex if you don't understand the command line from the Linux environment. So here, it will help you understand the system administration, but from the Linux point of view. For example, if I say this, let me go back here. I normally like using Colab. Okay. And then in my Colab, I can go ahead and open a new notebook. Here, you can do the import of OS, okay? You're importing the operating system. You enter, and then we say OS dot. Now we call whatever we imported, we say dot get CWD. Tell us where we are, equivalent of, this is equivalent of in Linux PWD. But this one is CD. So if we do that, then it's going to tell us where we are. Look. So it tells me where I am at. What if I was using something like this? Let me go back and let's say Anaconda. Anaconda is also a very favorite one I use. Okay, it's loading. Take forever. I'm going to stop this one here. I don't need a Linux now, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down.
Migot.
Yes.
With the Linux, I had a problem. Some of those commands, okay, for me, I'm not using Ubuntu, I'm using the Cinnamon Mint.
Oh, that's
And
late, yeah. Okay.
yes, a command like cat is not going through.
Okay, so
The system keeps on telling me that it's not a recognized command in Linux.
okay, so let you just know. Lint is Mint.
Cinnamon mint.
Yeah, I also have Mint here, but equivalent of cat in Mint probably is something else. Let me see. Okay, so there are different flavors in Linux. So get cat command 15. Did you say cat, C-A-T?
Yes.
Okay. Can you type something like, do you have the command prompt, is it a hashtag or a $sign? Did you hear me?
Sorry, mine is a hash. Sorry, it's a $. It's actually $.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get access to my Mint here. Can you share? You probably cannot. Can you share your screen?
Just a minute, I see.
Okay. I'm starting mine too. I have mine on a laptop and this other one on the desktop. So I'm running Ubuntu and I'm running Lint on the other one.
Are you able to see?
Yes, yes.
So this is a VirtualBox.
Okay.
And if you go up here, let's just check. I think I did it earlier on.
Okay.
You see, like here, I was trying to just use it here.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it the first time, it failed. Then I did another one here, it again failed.
Okay, cat, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you do the cat test?
Okay, this is the name of a file.
Oh, that's the name.
All right, it should be cat dot. Okay, just a second. It's cat.odx. I didn't put extension there. Let me see.
Go ahead and do the CY CLY clear.
Still no.
Okay. Do you have that file? Can you do the ls?
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
ls. Okay.
Okay, it's test2. Test2. Just a second.
That's a common Unix command. Should
All
be
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I was typing wrongly because Knight has done something.
Yeah.
I
So
think I was typing it wrongly.
that's okay. So you can create
All
another
right.
file if you want. So this one looks like the format is not supported by your cat. But cat should be a common command in Linux, like a crossboard. It could be using Ubuntu, it could be using Fedora, and it's going to be the same. But I encourage you guys. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I can just disconnect now.
Yeah, you can, please.
Okay.
No problem. Okay. So right there we come, like my Linux. This is my Linux. Can you guys see my screen? Maybe not.
No.
Let me grab it here. Look at this one. Anytime I start it, now you can see it, right? Can you see my Linux?
You're seeing the screen.
What screen?
Oh yeah, yeah. You see it.
Okay, see that? So if I want to go here, that on my keyboard, I just hold on to, I believe, control space. Okay, or I just type terminal here. Terminal here. I'm gonna take to the terminal. Then each time this one is always coming up, so I can just go ahead and avoid it. Avoid it. See that? This could be different from what you have, so I can go back and then I just type terminal. Come on. I don't like that. Don't send. Okay, so terminal, go to terminal again. Then always you want to clear your screen, then you can do that ls. And then say I want to go into my downloads. Go downloads. Sometimes it matters what you type, so it has to be the right. And then I can go pwd, tells me where I am at. And then say I want to make a directory. Say make directory. I'm gonna call this directory, let's say Nancy. And then how did I know I created? Now I know. Now I can go to CD Nancy. That's not good. Why? Because the case is sensitive in Linux. Now I'm in Nancy, then I can say create a file. In creating a file, you just use the word touch. Okay. John, can you help me? What do I type after touch? If I want to create a file known as touch command, is John there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, John. You have you used the word to touch command?
No.
If you want to create a new file,
Just a minute.
how to use the touch command. If you want to create a new file, use the touch command. And let's say my file, which I want to create, I call it, let me call it Esther, okay? Is a touch command. Now let me go back and say, hey, now I have Esther. Esther is inside Nancy directory. These are the basics. So you need to learn the basics. Okay. And now if I have Nancy directory and Esther in the Nancy directory, I can actually, if I wanted, if Esther had something in it, and maybe Esther is a text file, then I can do the nano command. And then I go into nano, and then I can edit what Esther has. And this one is not going to bring me anything because Esther is not a text file. So here we can do, hey, say, hey, Esther. Okay. How are you? and we see you are in a Nancy directory. How nice was that? Yeah. Now, when you're done here, you just say Control X. Control X will be taking you out of here, and then you say Save Modified. We use Y. Okay, and then that is saved now. Now let's go ahead and list it. Now we have Esther.txt. So that means if you use Nano and then a file with an extension, if that file does not exist, it will allow us to create it. If it exists, then we can now do the cut. Okay, what Nick was doing. Now look. Now we see the contents of that file. If you want to clear the screen, hey, it's too crowded. Let's clear the screen. Hey, I want to list. Let's list it. Oh, what if I want to list the details? Yeah, I list even the directories. What if I want to do more than that? You have to learn this. You do or you die. You have to learn it. Huh?
So Nano is the same as, say, something like VI.
VI, yeah, I can do the VI here too. Instead of Nano, VI normally most people don't like because it's not very interactive, but it's the same thing. You can do Nano, there's Pico. So this is TXT. You see the same thing, right? And then if I want to exit there, I just go ahead and do a colon and then question mark. And then question mark will exit, but I can exit and save it. Or I can do Pico. Pico, I can do Pico Esther. Those are text editors. Some people, believe it or not, they design their code in VI.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I just saw Nano and it looked so simple. I tried the time I tried doing the VI thing.
yeah, it's a piece. It's really can be a piece of pain in somewhere. So, yeah, you probably you just want to do something you can easily do very fast. But I mean, if you want to learn VI, or you can go the Vim way. Vim is also equivalent of VI, but more of interaction in the interface. So here we can see what we see, but we can also, so Pico, just like VI is the same. I mean, Pico just like Nano is the same. So we can Control X, we exit. Now see what Pico did. Pico and Nano are more or less the same. So if I ask you, hey, I have a text editor. I see it, I don't know what is in it, but give me one of the commands in the list which I can use to access it. And then I give you those options. So now you know what you can do. But remember, practice makes perfect. If you don't practice, you're not good. You have to practice, you get stuck, and then fall down, you keep on standing up. Okay. So if we were to, let's say, hold on, can you guys wait 1 second, please, okay? Let me, somebody at the door. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. All right, so if you know the command line real good, then things like Bash or C++ or C programming or Python or PHP or Perl should not be intimidating to you. When you see it, you know what you're doing. So here, an example will be like, okay, here. If you wanted to, let's say, do a new install, you will always start with a sudo, because when you are at the command line, it will not allow you to do any installation unless you are a sudo. Sudo means you're a super user. And then you can say get apt and then the name of the file you want to install. And those are going to be very specific to what you're up to. Are we together? Don't give up on me. So here, if we say touch, okay, we want to touch, say team, okay, and then we say, before we say team, then we say touch minus C and then team. Now the C is a switch which we can use to check whether a file is created or not. If we do that, then it's going to check for us if that file has been created. So we say team.txt. Then we can go back and list it. Now we know the file is not created. If not created, then don't create it. Now let's see if we can do it without this dot. Let's see. Now it's created. See the difference? You can also do touch, and then you do -C and then -D. This is used to the C-C-D, we use it to update, access, and modification time. So every time you access a file, let's say we can do that, right? Okay, so invalid option. Date, time, team. Okay, so anytime, let's say, for example, Control-C always, when you get stuck on something like that, then you use the upper arrow key to retrieve the history. Then you then clear, and then I can go ahead and say, if I'm not really sure of what I'm doing, for example, I can check the file. Every file in there tells me the date it was created, and this one's the write and the read options for each and every file. And this tells you it's in my directory George. If I want to know that, I just do pwd. And now I'm here, I'm in the home directory George. Okay, what if I want to go to the home directory? I can do cd space ... Look, it takes me all the way to the downloads. Now I lost everything except for the downloads. Then I can do pd again. And then takes me again. Look that. And then alternatively, I can also do that squiggly. If I do that, then it's going to take me all the way out there. Then I can do that. Then you see that again. So each time you do, sorry, that's for command, that's for those commands. So sometimes you will be confusing that. So just be clear. Okay. Those are the basic Linux commands, and please go through those. Create a file, you can delete a file. How do we delete it? We can copy, CD, we can move, MV. Yeah. Sometimes moving, you can even rename a file. If we know a file like, let's say that, go into downloads. Downloads, and then, sorry. We'll go to downloads, and then you can go into Nancy. Instead of doing that, you can just do CD, clear, ls, and then we say download. We do downloads, and then we do Nancy. No such file or directory. So let's look. Downloads should be in the downloads. Okay, so we go. We might not need this one right here. We do that. So now we got it. So we can do one command and takes us all the way. And then inside we have team. Now team we know is blank. Okay. So we want to do Pico or Nano. We do team.txt. You know there's nothing in there, but we want to go and do some editing. So we say, hey, team. How is the weather? Where you are? When it's done, it's almost, we finished that. Now we need to be able to save it. You can save it by simply doing the Control X. And then it's going to ask you, say modified, say yes, enter. Now we know we are good. Okay, so here you can use the cut command, team.txt. The cut is only to display the contents, but you cannot edit that. But the Nano and Pico or the VI will be able to help you display and be able to change stuff. So we say team.txt, and now we have it. So here you can say we are doing fine. And well, except for COVID, okay? In some places. Okay, so when you're done, you go ahead and Control X. You can do the Control X to exit. When you exit, it's gonna ask if you want to save, put Y for yes, enter. And then CLS, no, sorry, CY, clear. Then you go back here, and then you can do Nano. Nano and Pico are the same, almost. Different names. .txt. Okay. Tells you a lot about what you can do. So if you know your command lines, you will not fear scripting. Okay. So let's go back and have a look at something else here. System administration in Linux. Did I share this with you in your notes? Did we?
Not
No,
sure.
I didn't do that.
Okay,
I
you
didn't
guys are lying to me because I did. You did not read it. This is a 17-page document. I have two previous advanced class students here who I shared this with you and we did it in class, but that's fine. Let's go ahead.
You did share.
Huh?
Oh, this one. Oh, we did this one.
You shared.
I shared
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
And then I've already run this command. This command here is equivalent to, okay, let me go ahead and exit this one and then clear the screen and then do again and then clear again the screen and then do ls. That's good. Now we are clean. Now here, if I do pwd, is same equivalent of doing the same thing here. Okay, let me see here. Localhost. Okay. Anaconda, come back here. Okay. Okay, now we're good. Can be good to go. Okay, come back here. Still coming up. All right, anyway, so let's go back into this code. See here, it tells me where we are at. It's the same thing we just imported, the OS, the same thing which you would be doing if we were on our command line. Can get a command line back. Yeah, right there. So here, you can do this in Linux, but you can do this pwd here. If I was in my Linux here, it will be different. So say, for example, I go ahead and get started on my terminal. Let's see if I can get the terminal there. Maybe it's gonna load too quick, too fast, too low. All right, that takes forever. Okay, so this is a command line. You can do this for the Windows PowerShell, you can do the installation. If I did this one, I can clear the screen, but remember, if I did that, it's also possible because that's in Linux, okay? If I did, I can do both commands here at the same time. So I can do here clear, it clears. If I do that, list it. I do that CLS, okay? So this is the PowerShell. PowerShell, the good thing with it is both Windows and can take care of your Windows environment and also the Linux environment. So here, if I were to make dir, that's in Linux. I can also just do md, that's in DOS. If I do md, I can create, let's say John. That creates a John directory. Okay, I can do a dir. Should be able to list for me. That's the John directory right there, right? We just created that. So for some reason, that's taking forever. Okay, so that's not working. But what if I do ls? ls works for me. So get to learn these commands. Esther, I gave you a PowerShell book. Did you read it? Way back then. I gave it back to you 2017.
Oh my God. Yeah, I read. I'm still reading.
Yeah. So these are good stuff to always remember. So here we have, why would one need Python tools for IT administration? Why do you want to even bother with that? When you go into AWS, there's something called lambdas. Lambdas are functions in AWS. You can create those functions and they'll be able to call other programs and functions to work even without you being there. When you go to Python, we also have lambdas, which are anonymous functions. Now in AWS, we can interface, okay? We interface AWS with Python programming language using what we call BOT. This one, we import it and then it helps us do whatever the heavy lifting we want. You don't have to learn this, but you have to, it's going to be good to know it's actually existing there. It's out there for you. So an example would be like that. Okay. If you are to do Python programming in the AWS, then you'll have to learn this Python, but you'll have to use this you're gonna have to use the BOT. So you can open the Lambda console. Okay. That's AWS for you. And then you basically give it a name, create a function there, then give a function name, and then you pick your language of choice. Language of choice is ranging from Ruby, Java, Node.js, Python, .NET, all those good stuff. And then you create whatever you're comfortable with, and then it will interface with the backend through BOTO. Now, what is BOTO3? BOTO3 this is the Amazon Web Service software development kit for Python. It allows Python developers to write software that makes use of services like Amazon S3 and Amazon EC2, which we had already talked about. So you are interfacing your laptop here or your computer here to Amazon and the Amazon services using the BOTO3. You can find the latest, most up-to-date documentation at our document site, which is here, including list of services that are supported. Okay, so you see I'm running you through all this environment. Like this one will be, you can do this one by cloning the GitHub. You bring it, then you create an environment in your Python environment, and then you can do your coding. Okay, all this. You don't have to know everything, but you have to realize it's actually existing. So we come back. Okay, so in the age of DevOps, what is DevOps? Development operations, where me as a web developer or a backend developer or a full stack developer, I'll be able to interface both the front and the back end, and then with Amazon Web Services. And that makes you a DevOps. So when they talk of DevOps, you are talking of control, like continuous integration, the CI and the continuous development. The CI is continuous integration. The CD is for continuous development. Use different tools. So there's a greater emphasis which has been placed on utilizing these tools that provide the means to automate both simple and complex administrative tasks. Okay. Take, for example, you might be having Amazon hosts some kind of like IVR, like automated phone call. It receives and then reroutes it. And then you are hired as a developer to help develop in that. You're going to be interfacing that Amazon with the backend database, maybe MongoDB, or it could be Dynamo. Dynamo is almost like Mongo, or it could be MySQL. And then that's where you save all the contact informations and their phone numbers. When somebody calls in, maybe you have another function which connects to another API from another side, which brings somebody else's phone number and their name, and then be able to list it on your phone as a call ID. So those are tools we use, and this allows IT teams like you and I to focus more on the complex challenges. to process and improve, okay, tools with a reasonably small learning curve and high level of readability. So Python is a great language for teams looking to automate their workflow and processes. Today, there exists a plethora of Python apps for automating administrative tasks. And we'll see below. For example, here, we have Fabric. Fabric is built on Paramiko and Invoke. So Fabric is a Python tool for interacting with remote servers via secure shell. So this one I did at my work 2 weeks ago. I was given an old Python code base, which is 2.7, and then I needed to update it to Python 3.9. And then I connect it to Amazon. So there's a way it connects to Amazon. Of course, there's an API. So Amazon will give you the keys, the username, and the password. You connect, and then you grab what you need to grab. And of course, it's all through secure socket layer, which in this case is SSH, secure shell, and perform tasks which are basically on the server. So it can do a listing, can do a phone call, can do an automation, and then it can reroute calls and then save. So popularly used for automating application deployments. Now Fabric, you have to install it. Now this is also a valid option for the execution of other system administration related tasks, like you can do a file transfer using FTP. You can configure servers, okay? And stuff like that. You can even do printing automatically or printing invoices. You can put all this channel into automation, which need to be performed on a one or more remote nodes. Okay, you can automate very many things. After installing Fabric, the system administrator creates a file called, we're going to create that, fab file. Within this file, functions are defined to execute tasks. These tasks are executing on a remote system or remote server. These functions can later be executed via a fab command line interface. So we can have something like this, okay? If this is what we need, we copy that. Let's go ahead and bring our tools here. Let's say we bring that, and then go back here. That's going to be our IDE of choice. So we paste. Okay. So this might not be the same thing I have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and say, first of all, let's go ahead and import OS. Okay. Run that, and then bring os.get cwd. This is a function we call, it's a method. When you call this, it will automatically print and tell you where we are at. So we know we are here, but this is what I have. So we can change from that to this one. So this is going to be users. This will be user. And then there's going to be a directory, dir. So we say, what does this mean? That means we copy, remote copy from one directory to the other. Okay. So we run that. This will give you an error, so you have to make sure, first of all, let's go ahead and import Fabric. Okay. First of all, don't import it before you install it. Always do a pip install. Run it. Might take a few seconds. Installed, so you know it's successfully done. And then if we had to make a directory, we use PS, and then we do that. We go ahead and do another C. In this way, we just copy users, and then we copy that user. So let's go ahead and clear that. So we know we installed Fabric. Run that so we can clear it. Then let's go ahead and run this now. Okay, something happened. We create a directory and then we put data into that directory. Really? Let's see. Okay, so this is where we are. So I'm going to go into the C drive, my C drive, users, and then I go into user. Let's look for data. Yeah, may or may not have created it, but let's see that. What time is that? Did we create? I think we just created it here. Let's create that. Is that? Okay, that's what we just did. So this command did not run. Let's go ahead and run it again. Okay, so make directory. Let's go back here. So consider the very simple example below here where we create a data directory in the data on my remote node. That's a remote node, and copy CSV file from my host machine. So this should be able to work, but we do not have this file to do, and we do not have this remote machine, but you will have to change, okay? Change this to your local. If we had this, I can go back and say, hey, let's go ahead and create a data directory. So you can say, create that dir. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we have it. Okay, so here we have it. So this dir. So here's there. So we do not have this anywhere. If we had that, then we should be able to bring it in. So run it. We don't have that. Yeah, I'm not gonna struggle with this one. I'll probably give it to you as a homework. Let's see what you can do with it. CSV. Okay. That directory. So go back here. Then it was CSV. All right. So this is just experiment, okay? I'm not sure if it's gonna work anyway. So permission granted, no. All right, so here, we're given this opportunity, we can actually move, we create a directory in that subdirectory, and then we move this file to that directory. And that can be done all in Fabric. We can list the task defined in the fab, this is fab file. Okay, fab file we can do that via the command line. So if you did that, then you can just issue a command from the command line, and it will be able to do the remote copying and moving for you where you need it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today, but I encourage you to go read this one, because this is what we are going to talk about next time. And then we'll go ahead and grab more information regarding Python system administration. I'm going to go ahead and open it for questions if you have any. Okay, anybody, any question? Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, how do you guys feel? Are we good?
Yes, actually, we are absorbing.
You feeling good? Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open. I mean, you guys don't have any question, right? Okay, so that means we are going to go ahead and stop here, and then until next Sunday, you all have a good weekend. I mean, a good week, and then we meet next Sunday. If you have any question, please, by all means, keep me engaged so I can answer those questions. Okay. All right, guys, you have a good one. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.